What kind of property can you buy in Mississauga for less than 500,000 in 2024? Stay tuned and I'll show you. I'm recording this video on March 19th, so happy spring. And what I've done is taken a look at everything that's sold for less than 500,000 in Mississauga since March 1st. So we only have 19 days worth of data, and it still gives a good example of what's out there or what's possible. Now there's 6 condo apartments that have sold for less than 500,000, and with that type of budget, that's essentially the only thing you'll be able to find in Mississauga. So starting with the lowest price property was a condo on Glen Aaron Drive. Can't show you all the details for privacy reasons. However, it sold for 392,000. Was a one bed, one bath unit, less than 500,000 square feet, one parking space. It does have ensuite laundry, and all utilities are included in the monthly maintenance fees. This is an older building, so it does have gas radiant heating and window air conditioner, not central AC. So there's always going to be pros and cons to this type of price point. And like with anything, you get what you pay for. So just so you know how to set those expectations. So what does that look like from a mortgage payment point of view? So I'm going to flip over to the mortgage calculator from RateHub, and we'll go through those numbers to give a rough estimate of what's possible at this price point of 392,000. So looking at the payment calculator here, sale price of 392 in Mississauga, and your down payment options could go as low as 5%, which is 19,600, all the way to 20. Well, I mean, you could put way more down as well, but for the sake of this example, let's stick with these numbers. You'll see the added CMHC insurance, so almost 15,000 there, and then a little less, and then once you hit 20% or more, it's 0% added CMHC insurance. Amortization from 25 years. When you put 20% or more down, you could go with a 30-year. Just it lowers that monthly payment even more. So these numbers don't sound too bad, right? However, this is just the mortgage, so keep that in mind. Now, if you're a first-time home buyer, you do get a rebate of $4,000 on your land transfer tax. So that would be $355. Of course, if you're not, then you pay the full $4,355 on closing. So something to remember, and which is why I love this calculator, because instead of creating your own spreadsheet trying to calculate everything, you just plug it in here, does it everything for you, and pretty straightforward. So again, so we're putting scenario 1 5% down, which is 19,600. We have our land transfer tax as a first time buyer, it'd be 355. PST on mortgage insurance, lawyer fees, title insurance, home inspection, appraisal fees. And these are all going to be more or less, right? Because they can change. And of course, lawyer fees are going to be adjusted based on what lawyer you hire, etc. You get the point. Just more or less. What does the monthly expenses look like? Well, we've got the mortgage payment. Property taxes on this condo is 1,285. So we just divide that by the month. So let's call it $107 a month. Monthly debt payments, that's going to be based on obviously your unique situation. Utilities in this case are included. Property insurance, more or less $50. If you want phone, cable, internet, those are not included in your condo utilities. Those would be extra. And the condo fees for this unit is 430. I know it's 435 and change. Just round that up to 436. So roughly, this condo would end up costing you around $3,100 per month with everything included. So when of course you're doing your numbers, calculate in all of your other expenses. So there's a rough estimate on what buying a $392,000 condo would look like. And remember, there was only one sold at that price. So now what I'm going to show you is a quick search of what a rental for that size of apartment would look like in Mississauga to see the comparison. So what I've done here is a search for a one bedroom, one bath rental with parking that's been rented out for less than $3,100 a month. And there's 60 properties that have been rented out just between March 1st and March 19th. So considering one sale at that price versus 60 rentals, obviously if you're looking at renting, you're going to have much better luck finding what you're looking for. And I'm going to scroll through the list here. Again, privacy reasons, can't show it, but there's a 1+2 bed, one bath, 900 square feet, 600 square feet, 600, 600, 700, 700. So there's some decent sized units that are a little bit bigger. There's one here at Kingsbridge Garden Circle, leased for 2,500 per month. And that actually includes all of your utilities, cable and internet as well in that building. So that's a really good deal. and it's about 1,000 square foot unit. So from a strictly math point of view, or value for your dollar, it looks like renting would be the best way to go because you could get a larger property for less money. That said, everyone is in their own unique situation. If you aren't planning on being in the area for very long, or you love to travel and move around, then renting's probably the best option. Or if you're a student or you're just not ready to buy yet, of course, renting is always a good option. Now, if you are planning on staying long term, buying a property that becomes yours is typically the better way to go. Number one, you're building that equity and it opens up more doors and opportunities that you can leverage that equity to do home renovations or get a loan and that type of thing. Obviously, cash is king, it's always the best way, but those options are there for the homeowners out there if the need arises. Not only that, you don't have the worry in the back of your head at some point, maybe the landlord will want their unit back. So now you're on the search for a place again. And with the way things are going, prices continue to increase. If there's maintenance issues when you're renting, you got to wait on the landlord to have someone come in and fix it. Whereas you own a property, you can do it yourself or hire someone to come do it, but at least you're more in control of that. Now, yes, the flip side is you'll be paid for that. But again, it's your property. It's not so much just about that bottom line. It's the future things you can do with it. And if things do change in the future, you can always sell it. And again, assuming that things continue to increase, then you could potentially walk away with a good chunk of change from the sale. And then it would be up to you whether you'll buy or rent the next place. So now let's take a look at the highest priced property for less than 500,000. And it was a condo on Webb Drive that sold for 488,000. It was a 1+1 bedroom, one bath, around 1,000 square foot condo. One parking spot, heat, water, and central air conditioner included, ensuite laundry, and the monthly maintenance fees of $785. Now let's take a look at what those monthly costs could look like. I've got the numbers all plugged in here. 488,000 sale price, 5% down is 24,400. MHC 18,544 over 25 years. Your monthly mortgage payment would be 2,747. Now, of course, the mortgage rates change as well. Not everyone will get this price. Could be more or less. These numbers are a rough estimate, and obviously, you'd want to get a pre-approval to see where you would be at before getting started in the home search process. First time home buyer, let's say no, because we did that with the other one. So we're at a $6,235 land transfer tax. And so same sort of numbers for all of this stuff. So you'd want over $35,000 cash to be able to close. And of course, this isn't including adjustments and that sort of things that happen as well. So I always recommend to have another percent or two of the sale price of the property set aside in cash because you never know. And that's just for the house, of course, having a reserve of cash set aside just for every day, you'd want that as well. So a little different numbers for this one, right? So property tax, 175 a month, it works out to utilities, let's call it 100 for your electricity because heat, water, central AC are included. Property insurance, phone, cable, internet, if you want all of those. And the condo fees is 785. You'd be looking at over $4,100 per month in your monthly expenses. Taking a look at the rentals, there was 196 properties that were rented out for less than that $4,157. And now you're into the territory of condo townhomes and even some of the older semi-detached throughout the city you could rent, as opposed to a 1+1 bed, one bath condo apartment. Now keep in mind the differences in these would be you would be paid for the utilities when it comes to these semis and some of these condo townhomes. And the point remains, do what's best for you. I already mentioned if you're not planning on staying long or you're unsure of things or you want to move around to different areas, then renting will be the best option by far. If you want to settle down, own a piece of property, build that equity, then home ownership could be for you. Then it's a question, can I do this alone? Do I have the down payment? Can I get family and friends to sort of invest in the property with me? There's all sorts of ways you can do that as well. So there's no one right answer. There's many options and ways to go about it to get the property you want, whether renting or buying. If you have any questions, leave a comment below, reach out to me directly. Happy to help and have that conversation with you on what's best for you and what those options look like in today's market. Thanks so much for watching. I'll catch you on the next video.